This is probably the harshest dating film you'll ever see, and it's going to be hard to watch. To put it more plainly, young guys who aren't physically attractive often have a difficult time dating, socializing, and attracting women. This is a really challenging task to complete. Considerably the most dashing males have a hard time, and the guys who aren't abnormally tall, wealthy, or handsome have it even harder. You might say that, yes. I'd want to point out that the vast majority of Earth's inhabitants aren't cut out for the modeling industry, but by some miracle of fate, they always seem to be in the company of lovely ladies. How something like that could work fascinates me. This is meant to sound scathing, and I apologize if it does. In my perspective, members of the MGTOW group are too quick to give up on the cause they support, which is part of the reason for the movement's success. They have mastered the art of attracting people. The two goals, improving your behavior and making yourself look as lovely as possible, are not mutually exclusive, in my opinion. Over the years, I've worked with a lot of gentlemen who weren't particularly handsome or affluent, but who yet managed to win the hearts of the ladies they came in contact with. As I mentioned before, the reason it works so well is that they have spent effort polishing your outward appearance and manner in preparation for you to assume positions of greater authority and authority in your actions. This is entirely your fault. Women have an innate bias toward guys who conduct in this way, and they will notice your dishonesty toward others in addition to your good looks. It's far simpler to spot a liar or someone making false claims when they act or speak in a way that's not to be more precise. I am arguing that while they were correct in some ways, this is not an easy feat. It's feasible that dating in 2021 may be more challenging than at any other moment in human history. My sense is that there is always something new to learn and overcome. To address this issue, technological advancements are essential. The scenario can be viewed from two perspectives. One perk is that you can strike up conversations with women you might not have encountered otherwise. Conversely, it won't function nearly as well if your profile isn't particularly impressive. But I also think it's getting harder because of what's going on in the world, especially the varied ways in which women are interpreting attraction and the diverse gender roles that men and women are being forced into within the conventional gender roles. In recent decades, the gender norms that once saw women staying at home to care for the kids while their husbands worked have been overturned. As a result, women are increasingly filling tasks that were traditionally held by men, and men are becoming less macho and more mushy and squashy. Furthermore, I've always had nothing but a positive outlook on my female coworkers. Gender roles are always shifting, which may be both liberating and challenging. There is no logic left in the world. To elaborate, I mean that men are constantly bombarded with messages that urge them to show more emotional openness, sensitivity, and vulnerability. One of the main reasons why women find them unattractive is because of this. Women are also being told explicitly that they can do whatever they want. In addition, you can take on the dual roles of CEO and most senior manager. As an alternative, that also works splendidly. Experiencing a range of emotions is normal and in no way abnormal for men. But this is helping women appreciate the masculinity that is already a part of them. We're receiving 30 different interpretations, some of which contradict each other, and this lack of communication and cooperation between the sexes is directly attributable to men and women losing touch with their more feminine parts. Believe me when I say that I am one of the persons in this video. But allow me to correct that assumption. Even if I am assuming that there are no women in the audience, the way you feel right now is understandable due to the role that emotions play in the world. It goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, you should strive to become a CEO and a boss. It's a secret desire of yours to be treated equally in male-dominated fields. That sounds great by any measure, but what I'm driving at, and this is aimed squarely at the male demographic, is that if you don't try to get into it, and I'm talking to you now, you're being masculine, where you're more stoic and where you're not puking out your feelings to ladies. And rather, if you have feelings or experiences you wish to discuss, do it with friends or, better yet, a therapist. But if you're the kind of guy who thinks girls will change their minds about him just because he's kind and has flowers, you're headed to disappointment. Don't be such an imbecile. To a woman, he represents the ideal spouse. You need to put in a lot more effort to become a better person and to enhance your appearance. Routinely a lot of the time some of the men I coach have voiced this sentiment to me. There is no doubt in my mind that my online dating profile stands out from the crowd. To be honest, I have no idea what's going on here, and if someone ever explains it, it's in a blurry, poorly lit selfie where they stare blankly into the camera. Their resume, which they see as an all-encompassing representation of who they are. Regretfully, I must tell them that their current strategy is ineffective. You've made it, and you're actually growing your knowledge by doing it this way. Even if it's getting harder, I don't think it's safe to presume that guys will be familiar with this information. You still need to learn how to communicate effectively with women if you want to achieve your goals, and I appreciate your remaining because I want to share something really significant with you. Despite the obstacles you may encounter, staying persistent is essential since it will pay off in the long run. If you know what you can and can't tolerate, and what qualities in women you find appealing, you'll have an easier time attracting such ladies. Nothing could be further from the truth. I'm happily single and have no plans to wed anytime soon. However, there are a number of ways to go about living a life of total celibacy. Cello. There is no hope for you in this world. So when I say that I expect some male commentators to say something like, "No, I'm this, I'm that," or "I'm celibate, and my life is good to begin," what I really mean is that these kinds of comments are what I expect to see. Most likely, they are exaggerating the situation, or it was just an isolated incident involving a few individuals, but I still won't accept that as the reason. Taking the MGTOW philosophy to its logical extreme would, I'm afraid, result in a lot of unhappiness. A trying and difficult life is in store for you since you hold half the population in such low esteem. No matter how hard you try, you will fail. In this video, I only provide one piece of advice. Try to put yourself in the shoes of women so you can learn the truth about them. Try to keep your cool and learn as much as you can about the procedure. To rephrase, it's fine with me that this is how things are. This is the current condition of affairs. After giving it some thought, I've decided to give my approval. As an added measure, I will conduct myself in a way that naturally attracts the qualified leads I need. It's important to put a halt to this train of thought right away because it's completely illogical. However, this is not how life should be lived and is in no way reflective of current conditions. In all honesty, the current state of affairs is not inevitable. Do you see yourself living this kind of life, and if so, are you prepared to put in the effort to become the best version of yourself, both in terms of personality and physical beauty, and to pursue those things that would help you get there? The ladies and dating are discussed here. It's a fact that can't be denied.